believe it was in February that an article came out about black women buying more and more guns, and one of the reasons, among others, was the rising crime taking place within the past few years. And I found that to be very interesting, because you mean to tell me, in a world where there's a lot of unsafe scenarios and a lot of fucked up people who exist, and not a lot of people who want to sit around and sing songs and talk about movies all day and thinking it's weird for you to have a gun, you have black women, the most disrespected group in American history, not relying on other people and instead saying, fuck it, I'm gonna take matters into my own hands to protect myself and my girlfriends and my friends, maybe my kid, because I don't have time to wait and worry about other people and what they could potentially do. I have to stop the threat that is immediately in front of my face. That is very interesting. Now, I know that could upset some of you, especially the ones that like to think if you own a gun, you're weak. However, I'm going to give you an example that could benefit a woman in a situation to have a gun. Why? Because fucked up people exist no matter how much you want to bitch and moan about any other problem. Man tries to woman as she walked her small dog in NYC. A fiend tried to woman as she walked her small dog on a Brooklyn sidewalk Saturday morning. Video footage released by the NYPD shows the attacker approached his 30-year-old victim from behind at 8:30 a.m. near Woodbine Street and Ridgewood Place in Bushwick and placed her in a chokehold. He then wrestles her to the sidewalk behind a parked car. The woman's dog can be seen frantically barking as the man gets on top of the woman, footage shows. Police said the perp continued to choke the victim and assault her over her clothing before he fled east on Woodbine Street. So I ask all you people the simple question: is she just supposed to sit there and let somebody violate her? No. Is somebody going to come out of thin air and swing up and save them like they're Spider-Man? No. The only reason this bastard could have possibly let her go is probably because she was screaming so fucking loud that he eventually had to drop it, because if he didn't, a bunch of people was going to see him commit a crime, and that's dumb. And I believe, in my weird conspiracy theorist type mindset, a gun would have benefited this woman. Why? Because no matter how much you want to sit around and say, we could do this to save all these criminals, we shouldn't be punishing everybody, we shouldn't be sitting here judging people just because they're breaking into your house or they're looming around your car or they're breaking into your window, you shouldn't be really risking your life. You should just let them take things from you. Everybody is not going to do that. If you choose to do that, perfectly fine. I can't really sit here and tell you that's a bad idea. If you feel that's the safe option, go ahead and do it. But the way people like to expect others to take part in that is absolutely fucking stupid. And just because I know 2% of you are going to ask, yes, the dumb fuck who put a woman in a chokehold and tried to fucking rape her was black. I know in the article, or at least one of the articles I read, they try to bring up white supremacists and they don't want to bring up any black person committing a crime. But it's necessary to understand it's not just the whites who commit a crime. It's not just the blacks. It's the Mexicans. It's the Asians. Anybody out there suspicious, no matter the skin color or the gender, can commit a crime and will prey on somebody weaker than them. And the hope in the future is that more people who are weaker in stature and physical prowess will just start saying, fuck it, I'm going to save myself and not give a flying fuck about anybody else.
She did the right thing. I don't know if any other person would have done that.
A woman in Charleston is being credited for averting a mass shooting. Charleston police say it all started when this man, 37-year-old Dennis Butler, was speeding up and down the parking lot. That's when he was approached by people attending a graduation party and a birthday party, asking him to slow down as children were playing. They said he seemed agitated and left, but shortly after, he returned to the complex, armed with an AR-15 style rifle, and started shooting at the crowd. Police say a woman then pulled out her pistol, shot him, and killed him.
I will say on the Charleston, West Virginia case, Charleston Police Department case, this lady was carrying a lawful firearm, okay? A law-abiding citizen who stopped the threat of probably 20 to 30 people getting killed. She engaged the threat and stopped it. She didn't run from the threat, she engaged it, preventing a mass casualty here in Charleston.
Police say Butler has an extensive criminal history. Back in 2016, he was accused of shooting and pistol whipping a 19-year-old woman, but those charges were dismissed because no witnesses testified at the pretrial hearing. Court records show Butler had been convicted of 2 felonies in the past, meaning he should have never had a gun to begin with, not in 2016 and not on Wednesday night at the Vista View Apartments.
She's just a member of the community who was carrying her firearm lawfully, and instead of running from the threat, she engaged with the threat and saved several lives last night.
Quick actions that avoided a massive tragedy as we continue dealing with the aftermath of a mass shooting that left 19 children and 2 adults dead in Uvalde, Texas.
Person who fired a shot in self-defense at this Hy-Vee store on Sunday had a cart full of groceries, and that's when, according to Des Moines police, she was blindsided, beaten, and put in a headlock.
People have to make that decision. You know, am I in fear for my life? If this person knocks me out, are they going to take my weapon and use it against me?
John McLaughlin with the Iowa Firearms Coalition says that's the split-second decision somebody has to make when they fire their weapon in self-defense. In this case, the woman being attacked fired one shot, hitting Capri LaShawn Francis.
Iowa law allows for use of reasonable force to stop someone from hurting you or someone else, and that includes deadly force under certain circumstances.
The woman who fired the gun in self-defense is not facing any charges. Meanwhile, Francis has been charged with assault causing bodily injury. Des Moines Police Sergeant Paul Parizek says the two women know each other, but this was a totally unprovoked attack. He sent KCCI a statement saying, quote, lawfully possessed and responsibly handled firearms can enhance public safety. McLaughlin agrees, saying using a weapon in this case seems appropriate.
The firearm is the way to go if you're clearly having your life threatened and you know that the next second you're going to get choked out and you might have your firearm taken and used against you. Certainly that would be appropriate.
Hy-Vee sent me a statement saying, quote, we follow all state laws when it comes to the lawful possession of firearms by the general public. Now, after the bullet passed through Francis, another person was wounded. Coming up tonight at 6, we dive into a gun owner's responsibility when they fire a weapon in self-defense.
I'm not interested in trying to find some different idea to protect myself. I need to worry about myself in the moment. Everything isn't a video game. Everything isn't a cool quick time event. Everything isn't a cutscene. People gotta act in the moment. So I'm happy that more women, especially black women, the most disrespected group in American history, are doing what they need to do to defend themselves. I don't feel sorry for anybody that comes across any woman with a gun. Why? Because them women packing and they gonna blow your dick off. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see y'all in the next one. Goodbye.